about that American record? What happened?
Well, a very wise pole vaulter once told me, do not talk technicality in interviews, but I might do it just for you.
You've done it once or twice before.
The nature of our event is how well can you hold it together, because the biggest asks are at the end of the meet. You know, we've been out there with times. It's 5:34. We had a rain delay. I got here at 11. We started the competition at 2:30. It's 5:30. That's 3 hours. 3 hours of competition. It's 90 degrees on 90 degrees out there. It's 100 degrees on the turf. These guys were saying the bar is not the only obstacle. It's the heat. What happens when you got hot conditions? The poles do different things. So it afforded me some things that I may not have done at another meet. Namely, I was able to grip the same pole that I had and scoot in my run. And then with that extra stiffness, you get so much more velocity going up. And that's the whole way about I jump. You want to come off the pole faster because you'll cover more distance. I jump on a shorter pole, pretty middling length for American jumpers, about 4.9 meters, about 16 feet 1 inches. And it's about everything I can do to get that pole to do what I want it to do on a pretty day like today. We had great conditions, it was hot. And competition that stays stalwart the whole time. You have to have that to jump high. When I jumped 6 meters for the first time in Sacramento, it was the same conditions, hot on the track. My shoes were melted when I came home. But there were guys that were pushing the height all the way up. American guys, you know, there's no other country out there with more than 3 guys with the standard. We got 11 of them. It was wild. So we have the conditions here in our own country to put international level performances out there. And that's what it takes. It's not just me. It's good calls from a good coach, simple though they may be, and a great competition to elevate you and ask more things of you than you're capable of. So,
are you holding it the same spot all the way through the competition?
Yeah. If you go to a stiffer pole, I try not to grip any higher because the trick of it, and I know I'm talking technical, and it's going to be on the interview, it's going to be on the internet somewhere, and I hate doing that, but you want it to be fast. Speed is speed. Every athlete out here will tell you is I want to be faster. Same thing for pole vault.
Is it the same pole?
Well, you know, I saw it coming. I stood up, and I was really trying to, you know, puzzle it out because I looked, as I came over the bar, I looked to the left, and I saw that I hit it, but I didn't hit it as hard as I did the one before. And I said, that's going to stay. And as I was falling, I said, they're about to come tackle me. Because all these guys, I know them, we've been jumping together for years and years and years. Maybe not this kid over here, he's born in 99, like my little sister. Oh my God, he's 12 years. Anyway, 7 years younger than me. Me and Scotty Houston were the oldest guys out there. But I looked, they were lined up on the edge of the runway clapping for me. You know, I have never been to a competition where there's enough guys that want success for you that bad. You know, we're a pretty tight-knit group all around the world in the pole vault. But here in the States, we speak the same language, and that's something special. You know, a bunch of American boys out there can do a lot of amazing things.
So the previous American record was kind of strangely held by Mondo because of some technical rule. What did you think about that? And then to beat that, what does that mean for you?
Well, let me change the question a little bit. When you say strangely held, well, by the rules of USA Track and Field, he held the record as a dual citizen. Yeah. He's got Swedish citizenship, but he's an American boy. He grew up in Louisiana. I don't fault him for jumping it in a Swedish uniform. That's the way the rule was. And USA Track and Field, they said, we're gonna stand by what happened, but we're gonna change the rule. So he may not be able to set it again in the future, but that's just the nature of our sport. I wanted to jump 606 anyway.
What did it feel like? I mean, what's going through your mind when you brushed the bar coming down?
Well, I jumped the first jump, and my coach, I tell you what, he's an old cowboy, an old Marine pilot, captain of men. He is a horse trainer. He is a very down-to-earth fellow. And I wanted, as soon as I won the competition in '86, I wanted to go to 606. I said, Coach, today's the day. Let's go for it. He says, no, I want you to jump a bar between. Go jump the 91 bar. And he is so smart. He's been looking. He scribes all of our notes from training down in his green book. You may ask him to look at it, but he'll never let you. The notes from what leads up to our best performances. And I'm not going to give you the secrets to that, but he set in motion a few things that allowed us to step the same places that we did in 2017 to jump 6 meters for the first time. And he says, I'm going to give Sam the best mental shot that he's got to jump the bar. He's going to handle the physical part. And so that's what he did for me. So when you're going up to 606, I already had jumped 91, right? You got to bridge the gap between these big leaps in bar heights. And so when you brush it, I said on the first jump, I said, Coach K, I've hit bars harder, and they stayed, dang it. And so when I came over the second time, I had that much more experience.
So did you come into the day thinking you were going to set a record, or?
You never do. You never do. If you do, you're forsaking the competition. You know, I've often said 6 meters is kind of like a silver bullet in our sport. only 4 competitions in history as someone jumped a 6 meter or better bar and not won. Only 4 times in history. Usually if you jump 6 meters, you're gonna win. And you're discounting the rest of the great American jumpers out there if you say, I'm just gonna try to jump high today. Because it's gonna take all you have to just make it there. You know, like I said at the very beginning, your greatest efforts are asked of you at the end of the competition when you're the most fatigued. You know, today was my 6th USA Outdoor Championships in a row. You know, I held, there was a record, and it's only for me and my coach, with Cornelius Warnerdam at 5 USA Championships in the pole vault in a row. So they marked our 6th. So that was kind of a record for me and him, and something we're going to go celebrate tonight for sure.
Did you say you were on the same length pole throughout the entire competition?
That's correct.
You always do that, don't you?
Well, when I won the World Championships in 2017, I jumped on 1 pole. You know, that's just, I want to be a pole vaulter and not just a stick jumper. So I want to be the athlete on the end of the pole, and that's the way my coach taught me. And he says, I want you to be able to believe in yourself, not the smoke and mirrors that are behind pole vaulting. A lot of times you see people talking about.
Did you get through the dog pile unscathed?
No, don't you orient your cameras. I'm going to show you, okay? Somebody cut me across the shin with their spikes, and I was trying to, because I had sharp spikes on my feet, and I had to stick them into the pit so nobody would slice themselves, and I ended up blistering my hand a little bit. Poles were hot, you know, when in 2017 when Andrew Irwin and Chris Nelson jumped their final jumps, they stripped skin off their hands because our poles were really hot sitting out there in the sun. Just how it goes.
How big was this today in shaping your mindset for Doha?
Well, I have a singular mindset in the sport. I don't think it's my destiny to hold a world record. You may ask me in the future, I'll give you that question. I say it's way too damn high. But my only goal was formulated when I came to my first USA Championships and say, well, when I get the chance to wear USA, all I can do is be hard to beat or strive to be that. You know, if you want to be unbeatable, you'll never attain anything worthwhile because that's not the worthwhile victory. You know, there's so much more to our sport than just winning. So all I want to do is be able to compete well. You know, gold medals aside, everybody's going for that. But there's a lot of chance for success for young guys. And I'm really happy there's going to be 4 guys on our squad this year. Me and 3 young guys. Cole Walsh is first team. Braden, his name is Zach, there we go, Zach, and then Casey Lightfoot. These are all, you know, new guys. 2 of them are still in college. You know, these guys are fresh, ready to give all they got for Team USA wearing the blue for the final championships outdoors before we go to Tokyo. So these guys are going to have some amazing experience going into June next year when we have the trials.
You had to buy. You didn't need to compete. Like, you know, we've seen some athletes compete here and not really take it seriously. You took it seriously and broke the American record. Why was it important for you to treat this seriously?
Well, I'm going to change your question just like it changed his. Taking it serious is not necessarily the point. If it's on your heart to compete, do that. My buddy Christian Taylor, a great example. He lives in Europe. You know, coming over here is a great strain on him. You know, when he lives there for a purpose. His fiance is there for a purpose to allow him to compete in the highest level meets abroad easily. And so him coming over and say not jumping, just putting a period or punctuation on the rules that he's held to is saying, I want to be part of the team. I realize that I have had great success, but he understands that this is not where the end-all be-all is. He wants to be able to give all he's got in Doha. I have been champion 1 time. You can never guarantee it again, and I didn't want to come to the perhaps only USA Championships where I would get the wild card win and not give it my best, because there's a lot of young jumpers out there, especially in the pole vault, that I really craved to know. I made sure I walked up to everybody and said, hey, do you know me? I know you now, because we're all going to be a team when we go to Doha. We're going to be on the track together.
These young guys that are on the team now, have you had much of a chance to talk to them?
Well, I saw them coming, if that's what you're asking.
Well, no, I know you saw them coming, but I mean, did you have any conversations with them out there today?
Well, of course, yeah, certainly. You know, when you're out there 4.5, 5 hours sitting in a rain delay or a lightning delay for an hour, you get a chance to know some guys. And competition is a great way for young men to get to know each other. And so I know where they came from. I know what their mom's name is. I know how old they are, even though they were born in '99. Oh my goodness! And I know what their goals are in the sport. You know, and not a single one of them out there isn't a tiger wanting to give his best. And every guy that didn't make the team wants to make it next time. He's coming back with a fervor. That's for sure.